Hi guys, Darth Deuces here, and I'm finally going to do my top 10 figures of 2017. Um, top 10 figures 2017. They have to have been released in 2017. I tried to keep the Star Wars figures low, as not have a huge presence on the list because I actually did pick up other stuff than just Star Wars stuff. And I did top 10 Black Series of 2017 already, so yeah. I'm also going to be doing a top 10, pickups or requirements of 2017. I know JCC 2224 did one already, which is really cool, and I'm going to do one too, which will also probably contain figures on this list as well, because I'm not going to limit it to figures that weren't released in 2017. It's going to be everything. But I picked up quite a bit this year, and before I forget, because I keep forgetting to mention it, I want to just give you guys a quick thanks. Not ages ago, but a while ago now, I actually hit over 500 subscribers. I'm over 500 subscribers now, so thank you to everyone who's subscribed and followed my videos, whatever. Always appreciated. I can make a small cult out of the people that follow me now. There's enough people, yeah, so in front of you here is just the three honorable mentions. You got the Ares from the Thor wave, you got the Hulk Gladiator, Hulk Bath, and the Grand Admiral Thrawn, which is, at the end of the day, probably one of my favorite figures of this year, but I just didn't want to put him on the list because he was high on my top 10 Black Series of this year, so there's that. The Hulk Bath's my first bath I've ever built and created, and probably will be the only one for a while. I like it a lot, but it's not a figure I find myself picking up and fooling around a lot, so that's kind of why he's just an honorable mention. And Ares is sort of the same. Oh, actually, no, Ares I find I'm still picking him up more, but he is a better paint job than the previous original Ares, and they did do some improvements to the mold. There's still improvements they could have done they didn't do, so I guess that's why he's also in the honorable mentions. So yeah, that's it for the honorable mentions. Let's get on to the actual list. Start with number 10. So at number 10, I have the Transformers Last Knight Voyager class Megatron, which is an absolutely fantastic figure. It's funny that the movie, it brought out a lot of great toys, but it wasn't a very great movie. But Megatron's probably my favorite design for Megatron in the movies. The live-action movies is my favorite look for him. And the figure's fantastic. Sculpt's great. There's barely any kibble, or maybe not barely, but not very much kibble. He has his sword accessory, which is cool, and he can store it on his back. Both modes are really cool. The road mode's great and has a lot of nice articulation, and the vehicle mode also looks really good. The transformation's simple, yet still fun and interesting. Paint and everything, sculpt and paint looks fantastic. Yeah, it's just an absolutely one of the best Voyager figures I personally own. And next up, on number 9, is Zoom from DC Collectibles. If he wants to, focus, probably not. Wants to focus on everything in the background. Anyways, this is a great figure. I got this guy early 2017, and I like it a lot. I mean, it's not perfect. It's a DC Collectibles, not overly fond of the line in general. But I like the character. I love the design of the character, and the sculpt is fantastic. It looks like he jumped right out of the show, and I had a lot of fun taking pictures of him on my Instagram. And as a figure, I still love the photograph. You can get a lot of really cool shots, especially with the head sculpt. The head sculpt is fantastic. It comes with a lot of nice accessories, and for the price, he's just really good. It's really quite good. Next up, I have Moon Knight, which is a more recent acquisition. Bought on the tail end of 2017, but it's a really great figure. I like this Marvel Legends a lot. I'm not a huge fan. I'm not super familiar with Moon Knight. I know a bit about him from what I've read up on him and whatnot, but he's cool. I like this outfit. I probably prefer the original looking one a bit more, but this one looks really good, and the figure's done really well with a lot of great articulation. It comes with a bunch of great accessories. I love the cape piece. The plastic cape piece is sculpted really well, and I've had fun photographing this guy as well. So this is a really good one, and he's my number 8. And number 7 goes to another Marvel Legends figure, and it is the Marvel Legends Bullseye figure. I'm not super invested in the character. I think he's cool and everything like that, but this figure is fantastic. He uses that really cool. I think it's the Spider-Man 2099 body mold. He has the fantastic butterfly joints. Articulation just in general is fantastic on this figure. Sculpt and paint is great. And the accessory is just fantastic. He has the holster, which can store his gun he comes with. He has a sheath with a knife, which he also comes with. Comes with alternate hands. You got gripping hands, the finger gun pointing hand, and you have the sweet throwing simulating him throwing knives hand, which is awesome. And he has the alternate unmasked head sculpt, which is also super good. And it's just a super solid figure. Really happy with this one. And at number 6, I have the Dark Knight Batman from SH Figuarts. I've been wanting a really nice Christian Bale Batman figure for a long time now, and this one is pretty damn good. The Mafex might be better, I don't know, but I got the SH Figuarts. It's really good. The sculpt's great. Articulation's really good. The soft goods cape, it has its issues, but has the wires in there, and it looks pretty good for the most part. He comes with a bunch of interchangeable hands and different accessories that he needs to come with, and it's just a super phenomenal figure, and I'm very pleased with this one. And at number 5, we have the Leader Class 6-shot figure, which is super great. It's pretty much the best 6-shot out there, which looks super accurate to how he looks in the comics and cartoons. He has barely any kibble. Well, that doesn't make sense anyways. Like, the robot mode is extremely well done and looks great. The articulation's good, and yet he still transforms into 6 different vehicles, which is a bit hard to believe. All the different alternate modes. All the alternate modes are pretty easy to transform into. They're relatively simple. He comes with his guns and stuff. The Headmaster gimmick actually isn't too bad on this figure, and even if you don't like it, you can transform without ever removing the head, which is great. And articulation is good, like I said, and it's a really great figure. I love this one a lot. I bought more Transformers than I ever expected to this year, but I like this one a lot. He's one of my favorite Decepticons, so really happy to have this one. Alright, and I have to have some Black Series figures on this list. And check out my previous video, Top 10 Black Series Figures 2017, if you want to see all the Black Series figures I thought were great this year. But Jaina was exceptionally good, and I wasn't expecting it to be good, which makes it even better. Not a huge fan of the character. I'm not overly familiar with her, except for the basics. I wasn't happy when she won the poll, but when I saw pictures of her, she looked cool, and then when I finally got her in hand and saw reviews and stuff, it's a fantastic figure. It's near perfect. It's not perfect. It's near perfect. She has the removable flight gear, the great sculpt, removable helmet, lightsaber with purple blade, blaster that should be stored in the holster. Articulation's great. She even has a weird ab crunch that Marvel Legends usually have, and the articulation is just great in general. It's just an absolutely stunning figure. Definitely one of the best Black Series figures they've put out, I think. And I like it a lot. It's a great figure this year. At number 3, we're getting to the top 3 now, is the SH Figuarts Joker figure. Again, another character that I really wanted a good action figure of for a while. And I in the Mafex, but I got the SH Figuarts. And I do really like this figure. It's not perfect, he has his issues, but it's just so good. Articulation's alright, but the head sculpt I think is fantastic. I got the kind of weird smiling one on it now, because 3 different face sculpts. I think they look a lot like Heath Ledger, which is great. The rest of the outfit looks fantastic. He has a bunch of interchangeable hands, and the face, along with the faces, make him really expressive. He comes with most of the accessories you need him to come with a couple different guns. The knife and the card is really cool. And he had the really cool feature where you can actually flip out the knives on his boots. A feature I wasn't expecting them to implement on a figure, and that's really cool, and it works really well. That's awesome. And it's overall a super, super cool figure. I'm really happy to find a Heath Ledger Joker in my collection. And focus, please. There we go. Alright, so here's my number 2, and she's arguably not as good as a lot of the figures on my list previously, but I absolutely love this figure. I loved Cate Blanchett as Hela in the new Thor movie. Thought she was great. And this figure is absolutely awesome. And it has its issues that really piss me off. Like, the hips are insanely loose. It could be worse, but it's still pretty bad. Even though every other joint on the figure is pretty tight. But even regardless, it's a fantastic figure. Sculpt is great. I like the cape. It actually stays on. She has the sword, which is great to come with. I like how one hand is sculpted in a more gesturing pose. And one of the best parts about this figure is the head sculpts are fantastic. She has the sort of head sculpt, and the one I have on is the Cate Blanchett head sculpt, which I think looks fantastic. It looks so much like her. The paint detail and the sculpt and everything is so fantastic. And I've photographed this figure a lot and had a lot of fun doing it, and I'm going to continue to keep photographing it because I love this figure so much. It looks so good, and I have a lot of fun with it, so it's super cool. And my number 2 of this year. That was released this year. And last but not least, if you know me, you probably expect this figure to be here. It's the Black Series 40th Anniversary Darth Vader from the Legacy Pack. I absolutely love this figure. I photographed it a lot. It's the definitive 6-inch Darth Vader, in my opinion. The head sculpt's great. The sculpt in general is great. Articulation in like the elbows could be, I guess, a little better, but I'm not too worried about that. I can get pretty much what I want. Soft goods are really well done, you know, good quality, flow well on the figure. I have no problems there. Paint apps are nice and clean on it, and Hasbro did an amazing job on this figure. The only top 10 list this figure's not going to be on is my next one, which is figures I acquired. It's not going to be number 1 on that list, but it'll still probably be high, not going to lie. But yeah, I love this figure a lot. And that's my top 10 for this year. A lot of Marvel Legends and Black Series. The Black Series put out a good amount of decent figures, and Marvel Legends put out a lot of good figures. But there's some other stuff I picked up too. Like, I've never picked up SH Figuarts figures before. Pick up those two. They're great. Probably won't pick up any more, not going to lie, but those ones are great. Transformers also released actually stuff I actually wanted to pick up this year, which is rare. So it's been a while since I've actually picked up Transformers, so that's also pretty cool. But it was a good year overall for action figures, I think. Let me know what your favorite figures of this year were in the comments below, or make a video or whatever. That's cool. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. May the Force be with you.